My name is Shlomo or Solly Angel, and I am a professor of city planning at the Maryland Institute of Urban Management at New York University. This presentation is a recorded version of a talk I gave at the Spotlight session on data for sustainable urbanization at the Land and Carbon Lab Summit held in Brussels, Belgium in June of 2023. The title of my talk is The Atlas of Urban Growth. The material for this talk was prepared in collaboration with Eric Macris and Anjali Mahendra of the World Resources Institute, WRI, and Patrick Clamson Hall of the OECD. The Atlas is an initiative aimed at providing all cities with the spatial data they need to accommodate urban growth and tackle climate change. Gabiley, Somaliland, is a small secondary city that is growing and expanding rapidly. Like thousands of other cities in the Global South, it has no planning professionals, no planning data, and no resources for contracting planning consultants to prepare plans for accommodating its expected growth. The mayor of Gabiley, at the completion of a 2022 workshop using data and simple planning tools prepared by New York University, had this to say: "Now, we not only have a long-term urban expansion plan for our city, but we also know how to do it by ourselves, and this is exactly what we need." Gabiley has now been empowered with both data and the knowledge it needs to plan for its orderly growth. Together with other partners in the Urban Shift Coalition, we have now streamlined the knowledge we shared with Gabiley into a freely available online course titled Accommodating Urban Growth, made up of 100 plus 3 to 4 minute videos and associated texts. The course is available online in 6 languages, providing simple methodologies for municipalities to engage in preparing plans for their cities to accommodate their projected growth with climate change in mind. The proposed Atlas of Urban Growth will include all the maps made available to Gabiley and more, aiming to provide all or most of the necessary spatial data for making these plans and owning them. The Atlas is planned to make available online maps and spreadsheets free of charge and in as many as 50 languages for all 50,000 cities in the world that accommodated 10,000 people or more in 2020. Let me provide some background. Urbanization, simply defined as the growth of the urban population, is now largely confined to the Global South. Between 2020 and 2050, for example, for every person added to cities in the Global North, 18 persons will be added to cities in the Global South. Urban population growth inevitably leads to both densification and outward expansion. Our research shows that in recent decades, between 1990 and 2014, only 1/4 of the added population to cities was accommodated within their existing footprints, and 3/4 was accommodated in expansion areas. Cities need to accommodate population growth both by densification and expansion, and they cannot and should not rely exclusively on one of them. They need both. Densification is greener than business as usual expansion. So cities must attend to expansion to ensure that it too is green. Proper conversion of rural land to urban use can and indeed must ensure that adequate lands are left for streets in small blocks that facilitate walking and biking, for arterial roads that can carry public transport and are aligned with high-density buildings, for green public open spaces, and for protecting areas of high environmental risk from development. What is the objective of the Atlas of Urban Growth? The Atlas of Urban Growth aims to provide every city in the world with the spatial data and methods it needs to make simple yet adequate preparations for accommodating both population growth and climate change in coming decades. Making it possible for cities to grow in a more organized, environmentally sensitive, and less car-centric manner in the coming decades has an incalculable value. With better information and better tools, cities can indeed be made more productive, more inclusive, and better able to meet the challenges of climate change. Allowing them to grow in a business-as-usual manner, on the other hand, entails incalculable costs. Making room for a new arterial road that can carry public transport through a built-up area, for example, is next to impossible. Providing infrastructure services in dense, unplanned, informal communities costs several times more than making them available in properly subdivided ones. How can work on the Atlas meet this objective? Our approach to meeting these objectives will consist of three complementary activities. First, 50% of the effort will focus on filling data gaps. The development of global data products needed to plan for urban growth and expansion in the context of climate change will be the primary activity of the project. Second, 30% will focus on providing tools to meet user needs. The Atlas data is complementary to developing, testing, and disseminating planning tools already developed by the team and its collaborators. All rely on the extensive use of maps and metrics to prepare simple plans for both densification and orderly urban expansion. Third, 20% will be devoted to engaging user communities. Who are the anticipated users of the Atlas? We anticipate that the Atlas of Urban Growth, in combination with its associated tools and its on-the-ground engagement strategies, will be of use to at least 7 interrelated groups of users. First, municipal officials. Second, rural stakeholders on the urban periphery. Third, national ministries of urban development, housing, and environment. Fourth, urban planning and environmental studies departments in universities. Fifth, international organizations with global, urban, and environmental agendas. UN Habitat, for example, needs data from all countries to report on indicator 11.3.1 of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, the ratio of the land consumption rate to the population growth rate. Reporting on this indicator at 5-year intervals, which cannot be done globally now, would be made possible. Sixth, donor agencies, including the World Bank and the regional banks that fund urban development. And seventh, academic researchers that can use the Atlas database to advance a global science of cities. What will be the expected coverage of the Atlas? The Atlas of Urban Growth aims to provide, within 3 years of its inception, a comprehensive database for all cities and urban agglomerations that accommodated 10,000 people or more in 2020. Their number is estimated at 50,000. To put this estimate in context, a 2018 article estimated that in 2010 there were 40,281 cities and urban agglomerations with populations of 10,000 people or more. Coverage also requires that the Atlas maps and data sets, as well as the online videos, teaching materials, and related documentation, will be available in as many as 50 languages. What information will the Atlas provide? There are 5 types of information that the Atlas of Urban Growth will provide during the first stage of its development, with additional layers added to it as new user needs are identified and as new information becomes available on a global scale. First, urban extent maps and metrics. Maps and metrics for 4 time periods, initially 1990, 2000, 2015, and 2020. These include urban population, urban extent, built-up area, average density, saturation, compactness, and the shares of the added built-up area in infill, extension, leapfrog, and inclusion of existing settlements. Second, intra-urban land use maps and metrics. Maps and metrics focusing on residential, non-residential, roads, and formal versus informal settlements. Third, densification and expansion maps and metrics. Maps and metrics showing the shares of the population added in different time periods that was absorbed by the densification of existing urban footprints and by new construction in expansion areas. Fourth, environmental maps and metrics. Maps showing environmental conditions within and on the peripheries of cities, including topographic and slope maps, non-urban land cover maps, and maps of environmental risks included projected sea level rise, landslides, flooding, extreme heat, and of physical assets to be preserved like wetlands and vegetated areas that allow for climate-sensitive planning for growth. And fifth, urban expansion simulation maps and metrics. Maps and metrics simulating the expected expansion areas of cities by 2030, 2040, and 2050. What is the time frame and the proposed budget for the Atlas? Work on the Atlas can start as soon as funds become available and is expected to go on for 10 years, 2025 to 2035. Who will manage the Atlas? The Atlas will be managed jointly by the Marin Institute of Urban Management at New York University, NYU, and by the World Resources Institute, WRI. The NYU Marin Institute has previously published the Atlas of Urban Expansion in partnership with UN Habitat and the Lincoln Institute. It has worked with many municipalities in the Global South in preparing plans for their expansion. WRI has deep experience and expertise in urban information systems, geospatial analysis, environmental risk mapping, cloud computing, and machine learning that are essential to the success of this initiative. It has also provided technical assistance on sustainable urbanization to hundreds of cities in dozens of countries. This partnership provides the core expertise and capabilities to manage this initiative. Other partners may be invited. This completes my presentation on the Atlas of Urban Growth. Thank you.